Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. We all know it's Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta time here in the Land of Enchantment. We know that because we can smell it in the air as the chili is roasting. It's that time of year to put smiles on all of our faces. On the show today, we're going to give you a little bit of history lesson about the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, what started half a century ago in 1972. Why am I holding this hat? Because these are the 13 original balloons, and we know the Fiesta has grown for some years over 800 balloons and kind of averages around 500 these days. We're going to talk about the what to do and when for the Fiesta, the dates, the times, the events, what's back after COVID, and again, how much it costs and how you get to Fiesta. So please stay with us as we tell you even more than what you already know. I know you know a lot about the Balloon Fiesta, but there's no new things to learn about this 50th year celebration. So please stay with us as we talk about 50 great years of ballooning here in New Mexico. We'll be back right after this.
The National Education Association of New Mexico, a union of teachers and school staff, believes every child deserves to learn at a school that inspires their imagination, cultivates their curiosity, and ensures a fulfilling life. Public schools should provide all our students with small class sizes and one-on-one attention. NEA New Mexico asks you to join us so together we can end the teacher and staff shortage and invest in our public education system once and for all. Sponsored by NEA New Mexico.
Sid Cutter, you probably know that name, is the father of hot air ballooning here in the Land of Enchantment. Well, I have some of his cousins, possible cousins, who have many years with Balloon Fiesta and with our city. Al Tetrault, who is now the Board of Directors President with the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. I'll call you a first cousin of Sid Cutter. And we have Paul Smith, who is the Executive Director of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'll call you a second cousin of Sid. Okay. You know the man. You've met the man. And right here in our studio, Al, you point out your 25th anniversary in 1996.
Mm-hmm. And that's the World Balloon. And that's being piloted in that particular picture by Sid Cutter. And his wife, Jewel, is right there in front of him, the little redhead. She's about 5 foot tall, maybe 5'2", 5'3", something like that.
Why do we call him Paul Smith, your second cousin, but the father of ballooning here?
Well, he's the one that started it. He's got it back in New Mexico. There's a gentleman named Ed Yost who has also been called the father of ballooning, of modern ballooning. He developed the new hot air balloon system, which is a lot more efficient, and you can fly without hitting the ground quite as hard. Sid is the one that really brought it to the forefront here in Albuquerque. Or as Sid would say too, he was a lot shorter than I am, and he said, just wait. When you've had a few landings like I've had, you'll be my height again.
Little hard landings.
Yeah.
Of course, many of us first knew of ballooning from The Wizard of Oz, right?
Right.
We saw them take off in that movie from the 1930s, I think, right? 40s. Yeah. Well, hot air ballooning there.
That was actually a gas balloon in that balloon, which is what we have this year. We'll have the 25th America's Challenge gas balloon race with Balloon Fiesta. So that's scheduled to launch the first Saturday evening, and the balloons hopefully will be flying to the northeast part of the country or Canada.
So much to talk about in a quick half hour. But let's go back 50 years. You saw the first Balloon Fiesta. Well, I don't know what they called it back then, in 1972, Coronado Shopping Mall, 13 balloons, and you've met many of the pilots of these balloons. Sid Cutter had his balloon. He organized it, again with the other gentleman, and you told me you even saw that.
Yes, ma'am. It was something unusual. It's not something that you normally, back in 1972, it wasn't something that you would normally see. Nowadays, it's kind of unusual to not see balloons in the sky around Albuquerque. But yeah, it was something to behold.
So you said you were at Manzano High School. You kind of between classes looked up in the sky and What did you see?
Well, I think that was actually the second one. That was the one from the fairgrounds. But I just saw a bunch of little dots flying in the sky and trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out what they were doing, and then how I could get involved.
Really?
Yeah.
That spurred your interest right then and there.
Sure. Well, I think everybody, well, many people enjoy the concept of flying. And I wanted to get fixed wing license when I was younger. Thought about joining the military just to learn how to fly helicopters. But back then I was convinced that wasn't a good idea, because I would probably be in Southeast Asia flying helicopters if I knew how to do that. So hot air ballooning seemed like a lot better approach for me.
I got to fly in helicopters in Vietnam, but I wasn't the pilot. So
thank you for your service.
I got to do that. Before I go any further, I know I'll forget this if I don't. This is my pin. This is the Board of Directors President's pin, and they are very limited. We get 70 of them. I bought a few extra, but we get 70 of them every year. And so I want to give you one of them, Diane, and so that you'll have something very special from the 50th. It's a very special pin that was designed by our people inside the staff. I think Lisa.
I'm honored.
And
I'm
so
very honored.
I wanted to make sure you had that.
Yes, I would. Well, I didn't know it was your pin. I certainly wouldn't let you forget that, but I didn't know. Thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome.
Going back 50 years, where were you when?
Well, 50 years in 72, I was probably sleeping. I was working graveyard patrol, so I probably was a home sleep in bed. However, the first balloon fiesta that I can remember was when my wife was pregnant with my second son, Kenneth. And she had him in February of 1975. And I think that was the third one or the last one at Fairgrounds. And I remember it was all icy. And had I not known how to get through the back streets, I might not have gotten her to the hospital. I might have ended up having to deliver him myself. But I did get him there in time. Get her there in time. So, but that's the first thing I can remember about relating anything to Balloon Fiesta was my son.
75.
His birth.
Yeah.
And so other than that, I probably, more than anything, was involved in some of the events that might not have been appreciated by some of the balloonists at the time. So.
You're a police officer?
Yes.
You're a lieutenant?
No, I retired as a lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I was a rookie patrolman.
And police to this day are very integral, important. I see them every morning. I mean, at 4 in the morning, out there.
Right. Back at that time, we weren't quite as involved as the police department is today.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's over 30 different law enforcement agencies that come out to make sure people are safe.
30 different law enforcement agencies, so not just our Bernalillo County, our state police, our Albuquerque police, other communities.
Rio Rancho, Sandoval County, FBI, all different types of federal and county and state and local different agencies that work. Maybe I shouldn't say law enforcement completely, because it's emergency things like the Albuquerque Fire and Rescue, Bernalillo County Fire Department.
We see them kind of behind the scenes.
Yes.
I see them behind the concessionaire row when I'm taking the shortcut and not going through the crowd. I see
They're all
the
very important to the safety of our event, from a first responder situation. There's a lot of those people out there.
They're all out there, so-called behind the scenes, but we see them as well.
Right.
50 years, started at Coronado with 13 balloons. You've met some of the pilots of those original 13?
Sid was just another guy. I mean, I didn't realize how especially was until I went to a balloon event with him in Seattle, I believe it was, and everyone was just in awe of meeting Sid Cutter. And for me, he was Sid.
Yes.
You know, that's how Sid was as well. He just put no airs on. He just liked to help people and make people happy. His brother Bill obviously was around a lot of that time too. You were talking about Tony the Tiger earlier. Denny Floden, the fabulous Captain Fogg, is that pilot, and he's going to be back at this year's Balloon Fiesta too. He's one of 3 of the original pilots that are going to be able to make the trip back to Albuquerque. Is Denny Floden, Gene Dennis, and Carter Tweet.
Where will we see them?
Well, they're going to be at Coronado Center on Friday morning. When we have a reenactment of the first flight, we'll have 13 balloons launching from there. And then they're going to be around for the first weekend as well. We haven't twisted their arm yet to try to say a few words on Balloon Fiesta Live for us or for the announcer stand, but I'm sure they'll be involved in a few of those things as well.
What the Coronado Center, what are we suggesting people go there, park where? What part of the center will the balloons be?
I don't know. I don't know. You've worked more with that than I have.
Right. Well, primarily the balloon launch will be toward the west end of the mall.
Okay. Okay.
And which is actually where the launch was back in 1972. Because if you remember, Coronado Center wasn't nearly as large as it is now, and there was a vacant field to the west of Coronado Center at that time. So now we're not going to be launching from the exact same location, but pretty close to it.
Fantastic.
Right now we'd be inside the mall.
Right now it would be inside the mall. A little further, we have to go west. Was that Coronado first year? Then it went to the State Fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. And then refresh my memory. I know it moved.
Sims Field, I believe, was
right.
the next one.
Sims Field, which is roughly Jefferson and I-25.
Okay. And what year, if you remember, did it move to the current location? 20 years?
The current location, 1996 was our first year.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Okay.
And there were a couple other, there was Cutter Balloon Port, which is currently Vista del Norte in the middle there, and then the original Balloon Fiesta Park, which is now the landfill, or which is the RV parking area south of our current launch field.
Who here imagined it would grow to what it is today?
Well, I was very fortunate. I came on a little bit later, like 20 years later probably, I guess. 91 is when actually 89 is when I started. But 91 was actually joining the board. So I had the luck, I guess, of the draw to get it from not from its inception, not from all the rockiness that they had to go through over the early years, but it was already somewhat established at Washington Place. And that's when I was on the police department, was a lieutenant, and that was part of my duties. And that's where I guess I fell in love with Fiesta, or at least in like. But that's where it all started.
And I'm thinking back when I came to New Mexico in 1985, worked at KOB TV, and they said we have something called Fiesta. You have to get up at 3 in the morning to be at the TV studio at 4. What? I had no idea what I was in store for back in 1985, because it was cold and it's dark, right? I always used to call this kind of an amusement park in reverse, because usually you go to a state fair or the amusement park during the day and then it gets lit up at night and you see it. But here, everything's dark when you go and you have no idea what's happening, and then the sun comes up and everything explodes at that point. So it was just a great experience.
But then also in the late 80s, we developed a couple of afternoon events.
Yes, thank goodness.
The Balloon Glow, and we have several different glows. And then the Special Shapes Rodeo, we started as well. So that is, for the people that don't feel comfortable dragging their kids out of bed and driving them out in the middle of the night at 3 or 4 in the morning, there is another option.
Thank you for that option. I was looking back at my memorabilia. I produced with KLUZ TV the official Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta videotape. I think this was in 1988 and 89. Was my country. I was a concessionaire. I was a official concessionaire, and I still have one still in the plastic. Loved producing it. Fell in love with the Balloon Fiesta as well. I didn't like the 3 in the morning type of thing, so thank you for the afternoon. But now as you mature and get older, it's easier to get up early because we know we have limited time left to get up. So we might as well spend as much of our day awake as possible. But great memories for everyone. Great to have those afternoon events. And again, this year we're fully back from COVID. And that means we have the Music Fiesta this year as well.
Right. Music Fiesta is the second Saturday of Balloon Fiesta. So this year will be October 8th. And we have, the opener is Restless Road, which is a new up-and-coming band out of Nashville. And the headliner is Cole Swindell. And I'm just drawing a blank for the support act right now.
Right.
But Lainey Wilson, I'm sorry, just drew a blank there for a minute. Cole Swindell and Lainey Wilson had a duet together, which hit #1 earlier this year. Cole Swindell now has a song that's in the top 10. I believe it's currently #6, going up the chart. So we're looking forward to having that back again.
And we're having, how many, if we know it by this time, how many countries represented, how many balloons?
28, I believe, is what we've got right now. 22, I'm sorry.
22 different countries.
Right, and 648 primary pilots. We're going to have 120 special shapes. That's pretty exciting. 9 gas balloons. You know, I'd have to look at these because these change all the time. You know, some people come, some people leave. But it's pretty unique when you got that many balloons. When people see it, they just, like you, oh my God. You know, they cannot believe what they're seeing. And it is literally just, you know, painting the sky with color. And there's so much color out there.
And it's always the first full 2 weekends in October, the first 2 full and the weekend between. This year it happens to be October 1st through the 9th, the first weekend, so I'm saying it's just right out of the gun. We're going to have Fiesta, and then you mentioned it on the 30th, which is Friday, the 2 events, one at Coronado and the grade school kids.
The Albuquerque Aloft, because that's really gotten to, you know, I've even gone out into the canyon. My grandchildren go to the canyon. And those schools out there wanted the Albuquerque Aloft to move out there as well.
How many grade schools? Is primarily grade schools?
Elementary, yes.
Elementary?
It's between 100 and 120 different schools.
And these balloonists come in and do it. You know, that's one thing I wanted to harp on. People think that these balloonists are superhumans or away from everything and don't have any, you know, it's just like they don't think they're real, I think. I don't know what it is, but you know, most of these people, this is their hobby. This is their excitement in their life. Rather than going out and paying $75,000 for a camper or a boat, these people like balloons. And I think that's one of the things that's really unique, is there a different breed of people that enjoy flying. And it's not like an airplane that's going to cost you $500,000, but the balloons are reasonable enough for a regular person. And that's what I want to promote more than anything, is that these people are real people. And it's just not in that world of balloonists. They're your neighbor, your friends, the whole bit. So I like to encourage people to realize that. And you know, one of our big things in our mission is to promote ballooning. And one of the things I'd like to see is more people come out. We've got some of the greatest instructors, Paul's wife and several others in this city, that people can learn to fly and become a pilot, and they'll be flying in the balloon capital of the world.
Right in our backyard.
So that's where we're at.
That's what's so lovely about it, right in our backyard. So much has changed. We said the dates again this year. We're going to have the Fiesta, the music festival back. What else is new and different this year, Paul Smith?
Well, bringing back, we have Balloon Discovery Center, which Al was talking about, the education. It's kind of a hands-on learning center for primarily kids, but actually for anyone. That talks in an easy way to learn some of the physics or some of the science behind ballooning itself. So we weren't able to do that in 20 or 21, but we were able to bring that back this year. We'll have glamping, which you were talking about earlier, which is something that still amazes me, that people will come out to Balloon Fiesta from around the country and stay in a tent there on the park. So that's it's a very popular item, and it sells out as quickly as almost anything we have, any of our hospitality areas. We have the concierge program again, where if someone wants to have a guided tour of around Balloon Fiesta to figure out where the best breakfast burrito can be, or where the pilot briefing tower is, or anything like that, they can work in with that as well. Our hospitality areas are back again in full force. Gondola Club, Chasers Club, and we have something new this year, which is like brand new. In fact, we just got delivery on one of them this year. It's called the Skybox, and those are can be rented per session. It's an elevated area. It's actually a shipping container with a platform on top, where people who want to get a little bit better view can get up above the crowd and look at the balloons. Or
where are they going to be above? The other concessionaire? Where?
Yeah, they're going to be, if you know where Chasers Club is, which is at the northeast corner of the park, it's just south of that.
Oh,
So,
come on, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, they have them at the ball fields, right?
exactly.
Skyboxes.
That's
Now you
right.
have, I mean, they should be at the Balloon Fiesta, the
Right.
Skybox.
Exactly.
Do they have
Of all
ladder?
places, right? Sky.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, the Gondola Club and the
Chasers.
Chasers Club, I think they're and I was reading online about them, just more of a convenience for people who may need some of them have parking closer by, maybe more elderly people, handicapped people who have a little harder time beating the crowds, getting in, driving, walking a great distance because so many people have come. So describe a little bit more who they're for.
Well, it's for anyone who wants to have something a little extra over everyone else there. One of the beauties of Balloon Fiesta is that because of our safety record, people can be in and among the balloons while they're flying, which is really not the norm anywhere in the country. There's a couple other balloon events that can have it, but generally with an air show, you have to be behind a flight line and just watching it. But some people don't want to do that walk because the park is huge.
Yes, it is
And they
huge.
want to have probably the prime spot to sit and look at the balloons, have a cup of coffee, maybe have a drink, have their breakfast or dinner, depending on which session they're coming to, and just enjoy it all. And the other thing that is always the big plus at Balloon Fiesta Park is these have flushable toilets.
And one of them has parking, you have some priority parking by it, maybe the gondola.
Right.
They both actually have priority parking, but the one has priority access to the field as well. It's a special
Okay.
route. That's the Gondola Club.
Parking has always been an issue. Parking and actually getting to the park. And I know, of course, we have the park and ride, but some people need to take their car.
Right.
Get there early. I've gotten there early, but they still, aren't we changing some direction into the park this year, I heard?
Well, there was an alteration made.
Okay.
We like to call it a ramp, a slip ramp, but it's not what it is, and it's a new entrance onto I-25 off of the field.
Oh,
Yeah.
departing,
Yeah.
leaving, not going in. Okay.
Right. Yeah, the
So,
entrances will be primarily the same routes
Okay.
into the park, but
Right.
again, access or egress from the park should be smoother than it has been in the past.
But, you know, one of the big things, too, we want to impress on folks is to use Park and Ride, of course. And the other thing is get there early because it fills up early. And there's going to be some surprises this year. I'm not at liberty to discuss them, but there are going to be some exciting surprises this year at Balloon Fiesta for our 50th. So, I mean, it's
So to get there early, so we have the stage with the national anthem. I always appreciate that, having the national
Right.
anthem every morning. The Air Force is there, I think the Army bands and some high school symphonies are all great entertainment.
But it's these things that are going to happen this year are world class.
Well, what time?
You know, the fast
what time
tracks
What time?
is they'll be usually in the mornings and the evenings, both, usually after dark.
Or before light.
Or before light. But
Right.
I guess it's after
A
dark.
little hint, other than world class.
Fast tracks is parachutes. And guys, we've had them over the years, but they'll be putting together some unique events this year.
There's a couple of new balloons that are primarily devoted to the history or to commemorate our history. There's an aerial display that, again, Al, I would have to shoot him if he told you, and I don't want to get shot either, so I can't say. But the first one is 5:45 on Saturday morning.
It's what, 5:45?
On Saturday morning.
Saturday, the first Saturday, October 1st, 5:45.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's 5:45, okay.
Okay.
And it'll be after that as well. But it'll be exciting. So be there.
Get there early, okay.
Right. Well, and also Air Force, this is the 75th anniversary of the Air Force. So they're actually, refer to them on opening day, they are going to have a flyby that will be
Phenomenal.
intriguing.
First
Yes.
day?
First day, yes ma'am.
First day.
And-
First day.
And that'll be probably closer to 6:45.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you so
So
much.
we're just trying to get you a little bit more excited. This is just not your normal balloon fiesta. This is the 50th. This means a great deal to this community. And I want to tell everybody in Albuquerque, come on out and see this event. You're going to be impressed.
We're already impressed, more impressed. Al Tretalt, thank you so much for all
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
done. Getting us more excited. The first day, sometimes I avoid the first day because it's so crowded, but I will go the first day early, because New Mexicans, we know that people who have come from other places, you know, we know it first. Go the first day, but go early. Paul Smith, thank you so much for being part of this program
Thank you.
and getting us all excited. We're excited. Balloon Fiesta time. Thanks for all the volunteers, all the people who make it happen, because it is magic right in our backyard. Thanks for watching the show. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Make it a great week with your family. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, it helped me pay for my house. Being part-time really helped because I could have some opportunities that were still in education.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.